Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl back with another live commentary slash watch along of the Deadliest Warrior episodes. We're doing three today. The first, well, technically the second episode of season 2, SWAT versus GSG-9. Now, when I first saw this, it's like a couple of things like I knew of historical wise with SWAT from some kind of like I don't know, we'll get to when we get to it, but uh it's something that reminded me of back in high school. I'm pretty sure it was maybe film class when we was watching like some kind of film, and it was like, telling the story of like how like SWAT was created, but from like another viewpoint. But yeah, I mean, I know as of right now, police officers are not like looked on very favorably, you know, stands to reason why. Uh, but put that aside, you know, uh, I always thought this was like, kind of interesting. Like you got like two different like law enforcements uh going at each other, and especially two different law enforcements from different parts of the world. That was like a cool idea. Like, always, I wish if we would have had this series continue, it would have been awesome to have like another episode or something like this, like law enforcement, like because I researched this like for like our writing. When I was like writing a book, I researched like different uh uh, military personnel and what have you from different parts of the world, and like there's like Canadian Mounties. Can you imagine like a Canadian Mountie versus, I don't know, a Australian, special tactical police force or something like that? Because that would have been interesting. Two different, very different law enforcement dealing with relatively the same thing, but wildly different, different tactics. I always thought that would have been awesome. But yeah, uh, if you watching this on Amazon, get your timestamp to 0 on the SWAT versus GSG-9 episode. Uh, you know, I'll pop in with a brief commentary on throughout the parts of the episode. But yeah, get your timestamp to 0. I'll adjust my seat a bit so that way I can just watch the screen. And yeah, mic right here. Okay. Please, press play when I say now. Press play now. And it's gonna be like a controversial episode here and there into season 2 and 3. Oh, the creators behind the scenes always mentions they want to make sure they put in like apples and oranges kind of warriors, not something that you know, that feels too similar. It would appear to be boring. Yeah, that live testing of the taser was surreal in a way. I mean, yeah, I mean, their tactical gears looks very cool. And since this is like a LA based show, they got the LA SWAT, but a lot of the SWAT teams around the US operate on the same stuff, so it wouldn't have mattered. Charles Whitman. Yeah, but you know, maybe that's SWAT's mentality, but uh, a lot of police is like, you know, very trigger happy type of people, you know. Damian Parker, I seen him on a couple of episodes of Grimm that was on what was it, not ABC, NBC. uh, I was shocked to see him on there as like a cameo kind of thing. I gotta admit, like after the Olympic tragedy back in the 70s, uh, the fact that like unlike America, a lot of other countries, if something happens, they're like quick with like, because in 6 months they have this military uh personnel set up and ready to go to take down any kind of threat ever happen again. And it's like, the US kind of takes forever in order to get certain things done. I like that magazine, see-through magazine. You see like it just feeds through the gun. I don't know why they always look so cool. You can't knock German engineering. There's like a few things that the Germans like are very proficient at is the engineering and chocolate, sausages. Beer fest. You can get to see like the bullets actually deal the damage that they was just talking about. It just blew his head off. I mean, I gotta admit, like, because obviously SWAT dealing with like the more intense situation like hostage and things on that great of a scale. I mean, they go through it like that. And I gotta admit that it is kind of a huge advantage because as what the SWAT member just explains, like any one of them after gaining some experience, they can choose to do breaching or sniping, but the GSG-9, it doesn't really matter. They all are trained in the same exact thing. So if God forbid one of them goes down, then the next person can just pick up the slack without any kind of hindrance. you know, that lightweight gun. I mean, it's compact enough. I mean, it's like, yeah, if you're dealing with tight spaces, just like with like what I mentioned during the pirate versus knight, it's just like the cutlass is just perfect for enclosed spaces like a pirate ship. You can do damage, but you don't have to be far away in order to do it. There's guns kind of like this, a similar ways. It's like you don't need like a big, huge like AK-47 or anything like that. You got like a compact gun where you can just maneuver around tight spaces and stay on point. I'm surprised the camera guy ain't getting caught up in that. Yeah, the bullets, the Germans are using is like it doesn't need to be like taking our present head off. It's like when it gets into the target, you know, it's in there, it'll do the damage. But I always thought it was like very cool for like a proficient warrior to you put a couple of rounds, only 2 rounds, don't need to be excessive, but just like a few rounds into the chest and a few rounds into the head, like chest shot, headshot, just like John Wick. It's like chest shot, headshot. Like you are guaranteed to get them down. There's just like a few seconds difference between the two of them. That's just amazing. Just how just like how quick they are to do a particular task. When I was gearing up for this watch along today, I was thinking about like the Punisher video game that I used to play back in the day, but never finished. And it's like, uh, I was looking up, and it's like, oh my god, it's like it's not backwards compatible with neither PlayStation or Xbox, and it's like driving me crazy because like I didn't know any better how to play that game back in the day because like most other games I did not have. None of us had like YouTube like with walkthroughs or anything like that to show you how to go through uh a particular route or how to win the game or whatever. But I feel like I can kill it now. Oh. Yeah, that chicken thing that's like intense psychological. There's a lot of psychological warfare and other tactics evolving in the show. when you take care. It's like essentially because it's not even just with the germs. There's plenty of I've seen like wars in history that like preparing them for like warfare. Just hardening them to uh uh hardening them to prepare for killing a living creature. So it's like you know there's like plenty of examples of that. I don't know if I even can do that. It's like you raise a chicken, you name the chicken, you take care of it, then you have to kill the chicken. Like unless the chicken's a complete dick, it's like I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that for any animal. Uh, Please let me know, like if y'all had to like the same kind of training, would you able to like go through with killing an animal that you had to raise and name and feed and all that other stuff, and they actually have to just take it out? Matter of fact, that reminds me of what's that movie? It's like that British spy with Kingsman. It's the same exact thing when they ask you like kill the dog. It's like no, no, I can't. I'm not even a huge dog person, but I can't even bring myself to do something like that. That's yeah. I mean, I love when I see sniper rifles in action. It's always cool. That's why, like, when I play Borderlands, when I use a sniper rifle, I just like always have my sniper rifle at the ready. Yeah, I mean that's intense. Yeah, I mean, they were both on point. Out of all like snipers that I've seen on this series, these two were like very, very proficient. But it's just like if you want trying to give one the edge, and both of them are on point, you gotta like count like the middle millimeters, like just like fractions of an inch of a count. Like, okay, they both were dead on, but who's more dead on in between the eyes than the other? And it's like whoever's slightly closer technically wins, but it's just like you're cutting it pretty close. And that's what I usually like about like these versus matchups. It's like if both of them are so good, and it's like you gotta break it down to the bare minimum just to see who got the edge. Unless you bring them back from the dead with necromancy or something. I don't. Yeah, I mean, like, despite them being on Deadliest War and they do kill if they have to, is as the last resort because these are police officers, and police officers don't kill out the gate. It's supposed to be at the last resort, in case somebody needs to hear that plainly and clearly. Ding ball grenade. I really wish they had like a Deadliest Warrior game for like the modern warriors, kind of like similar to like Call of Duty or something like that. That'd be badass just to play as like a GSG-9 uh, warrior. My phone was charging. And I won't be working on the 4th of July, so that way I can stream. I'm probably gonna play Overwatch. Taser. You can't protect him, Rick. This kind of like wowed me because I never seen like a taser actually used on a human body before. This is the first time I've ever seen one. God, that looked like it hurt like a bitch. Those 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 probes like sunk right into there. Mm. Mm. Oh. Oof. Yeah. Sunk sunk right in. Yeah, I mean like the taser's easily more effective than like the steamball grenade. And what's stopping them from like those steamball grenades from like this is omnidirectional, it can easily like hit like an innocent person. It's like, you know, and that's mentioned in here, but it's like, especially if you're in close space and you're trying to like rescue somebody. And the SWAT have been around a little bit longer than, at least a good nearly 10 years longer than the GSG-9, because SWAT was put into effect in like in the late 60s after the events of like that shooter, and then like the Olympics in the 70s after that tragic incident. The GSG-9 was formed, mid 70s, so it's like not 10 years, but it's like nearly. That's actually my favorite kind of shotgun. That thing looks awesome, and definitely like more like I never used it, but I'm just saying like I seen it in this episode and like at least a few other like movies and whatnot. It just seems more. Matter of fact, John Wick used it in John Wick 2, and it's like it's just more efficient in the fact that you don't have to pump it. I like this automatic weapons because like where you just pull the trigger, it just goes. Or at least have to cock it once. My arms are still kind of sore. I went to the gym yesterday. Uh, so like my body's a little bit sore. Well, it's like I'm pretty sure he would have done the job as requested and put in some in the chest, but the head fell over the chest area, and he just kept on blasting through at that point. Okay, the ultimate showdown. Do you guys got a favorite weapon out of the both of these warriors? I do like the Benelli. I think the Benelli is part like my favorite from the SWAT. Well, it's hard to say because I think I like all the weapons from the SWAT, but maybe I think I like the German sniper rifle just a little bit more. It's hard to say because like aside from the steamball grenade, I don't think that much of a fan of the steamball grenade. But besides that, those all the weapons besides that, it's too close for me to call and say like which one I favor more because they both have great attributes that like I find appealing. I think it's like very effective. But I think like the SWAT had like slightly, better weapons. Cause yeah, and that pump thing, it's like I'm not a fan of the pump shotgun that much. I don't like the idea of having like the pump between each shot. It seems like the waste of time, despite being like uh making you more, forcing you to be more accurate. Because I said that with the remember mentioning about like a to somebody before about like you having like a Cowboy 6 shooter, and it's like because it's so limited amount of ammo back then. I imagine because like all the quick draws and everything like that, I imagine they were forced to be precise with their shooting because they had to operate on such limited ammo. You know, despite all those layers, he still would have gotten that shock. And he's still getting that current, and so regardless. That's it. Yeah, man. I, you know, and to agree, I mean, SWAT do have to go out almost every day. It's almost sort of similar to fighter fires, maybe not as much as fighter fires, because like they have to respond to almost every emergency besides just fires. But SWAT do have to respond almost every day, depending on a certain situation. Or if even when they're not doing it, they're still like at practice whenever they are at work. They still practicing, and just to make sure they're still up on that game. So when things go down, they're still mentally and physically and emotionally prepared. While the GSG-9, I'm pretty sure they're like, still practicing on their days off, or at least when they're coming into work, they're like practicing and everything like that. But as far as like an active situation, I'm not sure of like, specifically how like frequent they have to deal with, stuff like in Germany compared to America when it comes to a SWAT personnel. As far as like, you know, a live situation. So one person is doing it almost every day compared to someone who's not doing it as much, or you like just depends on a certain situation. Then the one who's been doing it like a lot will obviously, would probably fare better. I'm not saying like a GSG-9 is probably not doing this every day, but just like by comparison, they probably not gonna be doing as much, on a daily basis compared to SWAT. But yeah, I really like that episode. That was like a very fun episode just to see these two very different police organizations. So yeah, like I said, I'm curious to know what you guys' favorite uh, uh, arsenal the SWAT and GSG-9 had that you thought should have been like gotten the edge, or which one you didn't like that much, and that kind of thing. Next episode we'll be doing Attila the Hun versus Alexander the Great. And the guy who's doing the reenactment for Alexander the Great is Jason Faust, who was the Red Time Force Power Ranger. I met him the last C2E2 event in Chicago early 2020, before the whole COVID shutdown occurred. It's really cool. Like I saw him by happenstance when I was looking for some friends, and man, it was like because I was there specifically to go meet the Green Power Ranger, Jason David Frank. Didn't get to see him, but I got the next best thing, and it's like it was amazing. So it didn't dawn on me until like 2019, 2018, when I realized, after all these years, that was the Red Time Force Ranger, and I did not honestly know that. And I literally told him that I liked this episode he was in, so I just want to mention that, just in case I don't bring it up in the next video. But yeah, so don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to Talkative Carl on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Once again, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of this episode. What's your least favorite and what's your most favorite out of this episode? So I will see you guys in the next video for the next episode. See ya.